In the last lecture, I have explained the vapor compression refrigeration cycle. In that cycle, I have explained the working principle of each and every component, and as well as we have explained that cycle, refrigeration cycle for the Carnot on the basis of Carnot cycle, and uh, which uh, which is also we have drawn on the TS and PS diagram. So we have seen that how this cycle is going to represent on these two diagram, and we have also explained these entropy calculation at a different point, and in this session, we are going to see the different orientation which were used to in this TS diagram to improve the quality or the refrigeration effect in this cycle. And in a different manner, if you change the setting of this equipment, it's like if you change the lower pressure, upper pressure, subcooling, superheating, in that condition, a similar condition we have seen in the Breton cycle, this Rankine cycle. In this Rankine cycle, we have used this kind of the thing in which we have changes the different pressure, and we done some undercooling, supercooling, superheating. In that condition, just because of that, in some condition we got a good result. At some condition we got a bad result. So similar manner, we have to check with this method as well in refrigeration condition. In this condition, we basically going to check with four condition as we seen in the for the Rankine cycle. So in this cycle, first we are going to reduce the evaporator pressure, which is nothing but the lower pressure of this cycle. And in the lower pressure, if you reduce that lower pressure till below that, that shows when the pressure at evaporation, which will be lower, which is nothing but the pressure you are going to reduce inside the expansion valve, which will be going to reduce more. And if you increase the length of that capillary tube, it going to decrease the pressure of your expo, expansion wall. Then uh, just because of that, it's going to be increased, and due to that, the refrigeration is going to decrease, as we see on the first diagram, which is at the left on the PDF, which is drawn on the TS diagram, and where the extended portion of that pressure from 4 to 1, which is denoted by 4 dash 1 dash. Uh, as we seen on the diagram, the length in between that dome is getting reduced, and that length is nothing but the refrigeration effect which were taking place by that particular cycle. And while looking at the cycle, you can comment on that cycle that previously it was producing more refrigeration compared to when we reduce the pressure. So in that condition, the pressure, refrigeration effect is going to reduce, and secondly, there is a change in the work input to the compressor. And if you compare these two vertical line to the superheater stage, in that stage, the in the first condition, there was a smaller length compared to the in second length. The second length is nothing but the amount of work is going to add in this process is going to increase in the if you reduce the pressure below uh, compared to the previous cycle. So with respect to that, and the condenser pressure will remains constant. So in this condition, basically this parameter varies, which is namely the refrigeration effect is going to decrease, the work input to this compressor whichever we are adding in this cycle is going to increase, and just because of that, the coefficient of performance is going to decrease. as we seen, refrigeration is going to decrease and the work is going to increase. That shows the operating cost of your device is going to increase, and uh, just because of the pressure difference is going to increase in between these two line. That shows it will reduce your the volumetric efficiency of your pump, compressing compressor. Now we move to the second condition where we are increasing the condenser pressure. So condenser pressure is nothing but where we are going to uh, emitting the heat to the atmosphere. So in this diagram, in the second from the left, which shows that the portion which is denoted by the notation 2 dash 3 dash, and previously it was 2 and 3. So as we seen on the diagram, previously the heat which were transferred to the atmosphere, it was comparatively higher as compared to the second position in the 2 dash 3 dash, because the latent heat in which were getting reduced. And from that latent heat at 3 point, if you expand to the evaporator pressure, just because of that the refrigeration line which were changed in a different manner. Previously it was 4 to 1, now it became 4 dash to 1 dash, which is but obviously smaller than the previous. And uh, it means it shows the less refrigeration effect. And secondly, there was increasing the work input to this cycle as well. So wherever the pressure is going to change, as we see in the difference between these two pressure is going to change, then the volumetric efficiency of that compressor is going to reduce. And if the volumetric efficiency of that compressor is going to reduce, then we need to add more work in that compressor, and just because of that the coefficient of performance of that particular cycle is going to decrease. So in this particular case, uh, I have noted the point. First point is that refrigeration in this condition is going to reduce. Then the work input to this cycle is going to be increased, and just because of the work is going to increase, the amount of electricity you have to provide is going to increase, and just because of that operating cost, that is nothing but coefficient of performance is going to decrease. And if the temperature difference between these two lower pressure and upper pressure is going to increase, that will affect on the your volumetric efficiency of that compressor, and it shows the decreasing the volumetric efficiency. And also there is a limitation for this increasing condenser pressure, because you are very well aware that we keep this condenser outside in the atmosphere. And you cannot change that temperature much, because it vary according to the atmosphere. You cannot provide any condition to it, and in this condition it might vary for summer to winter. So from that, it places the limitation to the surrounding temperature. So now we have finished with the second condition. Now we are going to move with the third condition, in which is third from the left. And in this condition, we are superheating this compressor, in which we are going to compress. In this condition, uh, whenever uh, your refrigerant get get heat from the closed space, that time it get evaporated, and it turn out to be the gaseous form, and it will reach to the super saturated vapor line. But now we are extending that line to the certain extent to catch more, to absorb more heat, and it will reach to the superheated stage, uh, which is nothing but previously we are the input to the compressor was saturated vapor, but now we are extending that line to the superheated state. That shows that when the inlet of that compressor is at this, superheated stage, and from that superheated steam we are also going to add in compressor and send to the higher pressure at superheated stage. So previously it was superheated state, but at the inlet it was not. So in the second condition, it is also in the superheated condition, and outlet of that compressor is also at the superheated condition. So that is nothing but here the work we cannot see much vary, but due to the pressure. But as we know that volumetric if you volumetric specific volume of that refrigerant is going to increase because the volume of that gas is going to increase just because of it will turn out to be the superheated, and just because of that more work you have to overcome that to compress this large volume. So and in this from this condition we can conclude that now the refrigeration is in this condition. The second condition was moved from the first to two portion to the first dash to two dash condition. So in this condition, we clearly see on the diagram that now previously the refrigeration effect was from 1 to 4, but now it turned out to be 4 to 1 dash. And secondly, the work input to the compressor, which is going to increase, and uh, just because of that, if you put these two value in the coefficient of performance, you cannot comment on this, as we seen that the refrigeration is also going to increase and the work input also going to increase. So we cannot comment on these two values directly, that which one is will be the better, good, the more compared to the other. So here we cannot comment on the coefficient of performance, but the volumetric efficiency will be the same, because the pressure remains constant in the both condition. And uh, here I have came across one numerical while solving this numerical on this particular topic. In that topic, I came across this question, and in that question, the COP was increased for the R12 refrigeration, and uh, for the ammonia it was decreased. So these are the condition. These are the parameter for the variation for the this third condition. Now we are going for the fourth condition. In this condition, it is opposite to the superheated state. Now we are going to for the subcooling state. So in this subcooling state, we are moving left to the dome, and when you pass in this diagram, you can clearly see that the portion which is 3 to 4 is extend to the left of the diagram. Now it became 3 dash to 4 dash, and 3 dash is nothing but it reached to the subcooled region. And in that condition, as you see, when you in the previous cycle, when you condense that refrigerant, it went to the saturated liquid line, and from that we are used to expand in the expansion valve and capillary tube. And second in this second portion, now we are also going to condense more, so it will reach to the subcooled region. And when it reach to the subcooled region, from that region we are going to pass through this capillary tube. So afterward, it will reach to the 4 dash stage. And as we seen from this diagram, that previously the refrigeration effect was 4 to 1, and now the refrigeration effect, which is become 4 dash to 1, which is comparatively higher as per the previous cycle. And the work in this condition will remain same, but the load on the condenser is going to be increased. And here the heat is going to transfer in the condenser process is going to be higher. And if you want to find out the coefficient of performance for this cycle, so here the refrigeration effect is going to increase, but the work input will be the remain same. That's why the result of this condition, the coefficient of performance is going to be improved. And the volumetric efficiency will be remain same, because we are operating this compressor at the same pressure. As we see that previously when we touch this two pressure line, in that condition the coefficient of performance is going to be decreased. And in another condition, when we refer for the subcooling and superheated stage, in that condition the coefficient of performance in one condition, you cannot comment on that. And secondly you are getting higher coefficient of performance. To reduce this coefficient of performance configuration and improve the more this cycle, so we add these two cycle together. And in this cycle we are adding this to take the advantages of this super heating and subcooling process. We used to add this cycle together and do operate this, just because of that it improve the coefficient of performance of that cycle. And as we seen from this diagram, which is the last most from the left. And uh, where previously the cycle was 1 2 3 4, but now the cycle was become in the superheated stage 1 to 2 dash, and in subcool stage 3 to 4 dash. As we seen that the output we required was previously 4 to 1, but if you use these two condition, that subcooled and superheated condition, in that condition the result which we want which is get doubled in this condition. In this condition they used to ask a simple question to find the energy balance. And from this energy balance equation, which is nothing but the entropy difference, enthalpy difference between h1 dash to h1, which is equal to be the enthalpy, which is h3 h3 minus h3 h3 dash. And from this they used to ask to find out the enthalpy at a particular point. Now we move to the second portion of where in this condition it used to called as cascade refrigeration system, which we have seen previously, that if two refrigeration system were added together, then in that condition we have to calculate the coefficient of performance for these combination of two. uh, in some condition or some application we need to do a more cooling any particular space where you have to maintain that closed space at very narrow band of the temperature limit. So in that condition they were used to add this to refrigerator in the series form, which was start from the T1, where it shows the storage space, and its temperature was taken as a T1. And the Q1 heat is going to extract from that closed space. Now R1 is the first refrigerator, where the W1 is work input to that refrigeration is going to be add. And after doing that, uh, the combination of these two, the heat is going to transfer to the that closed space is Q. And This closed space, which is going to be the exit of this heat, which will be turn out to be the inlet of the second refrigerant, and in that condition, the Q amount of heat is extracted from that second closed space, and it's sent to the second refrigerator, and the W2 work is going to be added into it, and the Q2 amount of heat is transferred to the atmosphere, where the atmosphere temperature is going to be the T2. And from this value, you can for this whole combination used to call as a cascade. As I have explained previously, if the work of this work input to this cycle is going to be same, in that condition, the intermediate temperature of this condition will be the arithmetic sum of that two temperature T1 plus T2 divided by 2. And if the efficiency that coefficient of performance of both the condition will, both for the refrigerator will be the equal, then in that condition, the intermediate temperature will become the geometrical mean. That is nothing but square root of square root under square root of T1 into T2. And if you want to find out the combined coefficient of performance of this two, so you have to find out the first coefficient of performance to the first refrigerator. And in the first refrigerator, the coefficient of performance is going to be Q1, which is we are taking from the storage, and divided by the work we are added in that compressor, that refrigerator. So here, for the coefficient of performance to the second refrigerator, and in that condition, it will turn out to be Q divided by W2. And we are very well aware that Q is nothing but the sum of W1 plus Q1. If you put in that formula, it will turn out to be Q1 plus W1 divided by W2. And the combination of two this coefficient of performance for this cascade, which is going to be coefficient of performance of first into the coefficient of performance of second, divided by 1 plus the multiplication of these two. So this is the combination of these two. And now we are moving toward the vapor absorption refrigeration cycle. This kind of refrigeration system used for the very uh, large portion in which the waste heat is going to be waste heat is going to be used. And this is in this diagram, I would like to explain on the different charts. So there is one concept in which uh, your ammonia get absorbed by your water, and that phenomenon were used to operate this refrigeration system, in which this right hand portion, left hand portion will be the same as compared to the your previous, but just you replacing that compressor where we are adding the work, which will be replaced by this thermal compressor. And in that thermal compressor, uh, which is one as one device is where we called as the generator, and another device where we called as the out that absorber. In the generator device, in which we are separating the ammonia plus water, and in the absorber in that device we are adding, uh, we are absorbing the ammonia plus water. So in the leftmost side, the device previously we have, in which only ammonia is going to be circulated. And in the right side of this diagram, in which this combination of these two ammonia plus water is going to be circulated. So we first understood the concept of this. So in which the absorber, which is nothing but uh, when you heat it, in which the heat is going to be reduced, and heat is going to reduce, and the ammonia which were at the highest higher uh, heated stage, which is get absorbed inside the water, and that water is going to be pumped into the generator, and from generator, where if you supply heat to that water, once again absorbed by ammonia, uh, the ammonia is getting absorbed in that water, and once it pass to that generator, in which if you supply heat to it, it will get separated from the ammonia, and ammonia will pass through the condenser, and the remain water, which will be transferred once again to the absorber. So this is how it will drive the process. So in this process, and apart from that, the portion the functionality of that device will be the remain same. So here I have drawn in the different manner. So here you can see the the work. The pump is going to pump this water plus ammonia to the generator. In which generator the heat is going to be added, and if once you add the heat into it, the ammonia gets separated, and which will be passing through the condenser, expansion wall, and evaporator, and remaining portion of that water is transferred to the absorber, in which the H2 plus this coming ammonia, which is which exit of this evaporator, which get combined together, and in this absorber, the ammonia, heated ammonia, get absorbed in this water, and once it get absorbed, it will send to the pump, where the pump is used to pump this ammonia plus H2O in the liquid form. So this is how this cycle used to work, and in this cycle, in which the coefficient of performance of this vapor absorption refrigerator, which is going to be less than one all the time. And if you want to remember this device, it can be denoted in this fashion: that TJ, which shows the temperature of that generator, and TC is shows the temperature of condenser, and TE shows the absorber temperature. So in this manner, you can remember, and uh, from that, only single formula that we used to ask in the gate examination, which is nothing but the coefficient of performance of the cycle for at maximum condition, which can be denoted by Tj minus Tc divided by Tj, and multiplication of Te divided by Tc minus T. And if you want to remember this formula, just keep in mind, it has a two separate section of this formula. First section is for the TJ, and second section for the TE, and uh, the portion TC will get reduced from it. And if you want to remember in this way, the TG minus TC is the first, and divided by TG, and secondly, the TE divided by TC minus TE. So in this way you can remember it. And another the clue is the temperature at TJ will be the higher to the condenser temperature. That is why it is getting a minus from the TJ temperature. And in this second condition, the TC condenser temperature, which is going to be higher compared to this evaporator temperature, that TE. And this is how you can remember this formula. There is also one another method in which this cycle we have seen previously, which were used to for the bell, this Breton cycle. But in this way, this cycle is called as the reverse Breton cycle or Joule cycle, and also it is also used to called as the Bell Coleman cycle. In this cycle, Only thing is change is that capillary tube. Instead of that capillary tube, we are going to use the expansion device where the pressure, the work output is taking place. Anyway, the concept shows that when you expand that, anyway, you are going to expand that refrigerant in in this capillary device. So instead of expanding the capillary tube, in that condition you are not getting any work output. But uh, if you place any other device, expansion device, which can give you the pdv work, that is nothing but the work output from that expansion process. So this is the only change in this cycle. uh, Apart from that, nothing is changed and everything will be the same. And in this cycle, previously we have drawn for the Breton cycle, which were moved from the first, second, third, which was clockwise cycle. But now this cycle were used for using for the your refrigeration cycle. So in that condition, it will become it will become the time, the work consuming cycle. So it will become the anti-clockwise. So it can be denoted as 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this condition, work is going to be added in compressor. The first condition and second condition, which were nothing but the heat exchanger, which shows the pressure constant process, and third to four, in which the expansion work is taking place. And in this process, the work output is taking work output you're getting. And when you move from the 4 to 1, so in that condition, the heat is getting in this cycle, and which is placed at the closed space where you are getting the refrigeration effect. So from this cycle, they used to call the refrigeration effect. So similarly, you can find with the H1 minus H4. And the work input to this cycle, which is nothing but the work you are supplying to the compressor, as well as the work you are generated from the expansion process. If you minus that work you generated from the expansion process, that's why the work input to this cycle is going to be reduced. And it belongs to adiabatic condition. So the formula, the temperature pressure relation going to apply here, that is nothing but the T2 minus T1 equal to T3 minus T4 equal to Rp raised to the gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. And the coefficient of performance of this cycle is going to be 1 divided by Rp raised to the gamma minus gamma divided by 1. uh, you should keep this in mind. It is just only for to remember this. You have to remember the Breton cycle efficiency formula. There it was n equal to 1 divided by 1 minus Rp raised to the gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. Rp is nothing but your pressure ratio, and in this condition, only thing has changed, that you have reversed this condition, because the pressure ratio in this condition is going to be changed. And this is how you can find out the coefficient of performance to this cycle. Uh, there is another designation. It is only related to the refrigerant, and in this refrigerant, you have to find out a different combination of the refrigerant, which will going to give the more refrigeration effect. And which is basically divided in the three subcategory. uh, Such kind of question were never asked in the gate examination. I think one time they were asked, but mostly they used to ask this kind of question in the IES examination, where they will give you directly the formula of uh, uh, this any kind of a refrigeration, and you have to write in the form of the other form. And if sometime they can give you the form of that refrigerant, and you have to find out the formula for that refrigerant. So firstly, the saturated hydrocarbon. In saturated hydrocarbon, which will be the combination of carbon, hydrogen, chlorine, fluorine. So where the carbon, hydrogen, and chlorine, fluorine were added, apart from hydrogen and carbon, if there is another content will be there. That is nothing but saturation, saturated hydrocarbon. In that process, I would like to take an example, which is CCl2F2, which is denoted in the form of this R012. If you find out how they have come across that R012, so that can be done by this below formula, which is noted as CmHn FpClQ, and this is how it's going to be denoted. See, M is denoted for the number of carbon, and N is the denotation for the number of hydrogen is present there. P is for the fluorine, and uh, Q is for the chlorine. So this is how the first R equal to M minus 1, N plus 1, and P. This is how you're going to generate that notation. So if you take the above example, in that condition, the carbon which were present in this formula, which is nothing but one number of carbon. If you put the M value is equal to 1, so it will become 0. And in this condition, the hydrogen was not there. So if you put hydrogen in this n value is 0 into this formula, so there it will turn out to be 1, and the p portion is 2. So this is how this formula it turn out to be R012. So this is how it going to denote this CCl2F2 in the form of R012. And the second type, in which is unsaturated hydrocarbon, which only contain the carbon and hydrogen. So in this condition, we are taking ethane. So in this ethane, it is denoted by uh, R1150. So if you compare this formula, similar formula which were used previously, Cm, Hn, Fp, and ClQ, in which the carbon were present to, hydrogen were B4, and the fluorine and chlorine were these are the two content were absent in this formula. So for the unsaturated condition, the formula for R is going to be changed, which will become R equal to 1 in bracket M minus 1 into N plus 1 multiplied by P. And if there is the form is given, so any condition they were not used, and if you turn out to be a plus minus in this condition, so if you want to convert that formula, our formula, to the actual formula format, so in this condition, this kind of the equation were really helpful. In the first saturated condition, the formula turn out to be NPQ equal to 2m plus 2, and in the second condition, it was m plus p plus q equal to 2m. So from this formula, you can find out the relation. You can turn out the format from one form to another form. And in this condition, if you take the example, see, for the ethane, which is R equal to 1, m here is the value is 2, so it will turn out to be 1, and the hydrogen content is 4, so 4 plus 1 is 5, and the p portion where fluorine is 0. So this is how this formula is turned out to be R1150. Now in some refrigeration, in which the refrigerant was inorganic refrigerant, which is nothing we have just seen before, that ammonia. So if you take the example for the ammonia, that is denoted by R717. So how this is going to be noted, which is the formula is nothing but R equal to 700 plus molecular weight of that content. So in this content, I have taken example for the different notation, where ammonia has a 17, sulfur dioxide is 64, carbon monoxide is 44, and S2 is 18, air is 29. If you want to find out for the ammonium, the molecular weight of this ammonia is 17. If you put in this formula, the formula is to be it's going to be turn out to be R equal to 717. This is how this formula is asked in the both manner. So you can use this formula and change the format of that notation. So this is how this chapter is going to be end here, and in the next chapter, in which is mostly related to the refrigeration as well. In this condition, we going to see the different mode of the refrigeration, and how the weather condition is going to be changed. So uh, let's see in the next chapter.